Asur tamim b'chol boal, mi yomar lo ma tifa. Ashalit b'mata u'b'ma'al, memit Asur tamim b'chol ma'aseh, mi yomar lo mata.
Rabbi? Ladies and gentlemen, carefully make your way over these headstones. Sherry, can I have some help, please? Please make your way over there behind the chairs.
Because tonight is one of the three pilgrim festivals. Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, plus Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Those are the five that are or anything traditionally. So when we cut this ribbon, you're only going to wear it for 1 hour, halachically. Come over here.
Okay. Melech.
Hold it.
We'll do that today.
Please come and be seated.
Lloyd,
Yes, Rabbi.
you have some earth here.
I do, sir.
And now I'll have a... Okay. And this little packet of earth is from the Mount of Olives, is the oldest and the largest Jewish settlement, because according to rabbinic tradition, when the Mashiach comes, those who are on the mount or buried from the mount will rise first. So we want to afford as many people as possible that merit. And certainly your mom and grandma, she's more than deserving. Man's beginning is dust, and his end is dust. And the dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. Gracious sensitive to the Lord, Holy Spirit, be with us along. We shall find peace in your presence. Okay. Are we ready, everybody? Be careful, this is not paid for. Adonai ma'adam vat ben enosh vat chashpehu. Adam la hevel dama, yamav ketzel over. Baboker yatzitz v'chalaf, ula erev yamoleo v'yavesh. Tashev enosh ad daka vatomer shuvu v'nei adam. Lu chochmu yaskilu zot, yavinu la'achritam. Ki lo b'moto yikach hakol, v'lo yered acharav kavodo. Shmar tam u're'ei yashar, ki acharit le'ish shalom. Podeh Adonai nefesh avadav, v'lo yeshmu kol hachosim bo. The psalmist asks a question. O Lord, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him, or the son of man that thou makest account of him? And he gives us an answer. Man is like unto a breath. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. In the morning he flourisheth and groweth up, and in the evening he is cut down and withereth. Thou turnest man to contrition, and sayest, Return, ye children of men. Oh, that they were wise, and would consider their latter end. For when man dieth, he shall carry nothing away, but his glory shall not descend after him. Now, the King James Version of the Bible, very poetic, I love it, uses the Hebrew word kavod, very theological word, as glory. And the first time we meet that word in the scripture is when Moses has come down from Mount Sinai and he sees what's going on around the golden calf, and he smashes the tablets out of anger and out of despair. He's been gone for 6 weeks, and all these people who depended on him for their freedom, no, I'm not Alexander. Okay, depended on him, thought, oh, he's gone, what do we do now? So they built this calf, and no, I put that Shmirach some before I came. Okay, so Moses is very upset, and then God, if you look at it, and by the way, it's the Sedra that we read today, tonight, tomorrow, and Friday, because that's the Ten Commandments. God says, I want you to go up the mountain again. And Moses is recalcitrant. Oh, I failed you, I failed me, I failed them. And he says, I failed you. I've lost grace in your eyes. And God says, no, I want you to go up again. And there's this great conversation between God and man. The 33rd and 34th chapters of Exodus. And finally, Moses says, let me see thy face. Who am I dealing with? And God says, no man can see my face and live, but I will cause all my kavod, you translated King James, glory, to pass before you. And then there comes 2 verses, if you come to Shul tomorrow, if we're allowed, when we open the ark, before we take the Torah out, we say these 2 verses that are right here. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Hapayim v'Rav Chesed, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nosei Avon v'Fesha v'Chata'a v'Nakeh. And because we want to serve that idea of his being ever present in our life, not only in happy occasions, but throughout our life. God is mighty. God is strong. God, there's 13 attributes. God is merciful. God is kindly. God is loving. God is patient. God is loyal. God is true. God forgives iniquity, transgression, and sin, and grants pardon. Now, you and I are human. We've made mistakes. We've had fears. And somebody has forgiven us our mistakes, has buoyed our spirits so that we don't just become depressed and feel like we failed inalterably, and given us other chances not only to succeed, but to show our very best in their presence, and to reciprocate for kindness and love and understanding and encouragement and forgiveness, because we're not perfect. And the rabbis consider those 13 attributes. It's Shloshas Remidayah. It's at the end of the Pesach singing, by the way, who knows one, is those 13 attributes. God forgives us and God is with us. And if you know the 23rd Psalm that we're going to recite in a moment, when David is walking in the valley of the shadow of death, and he's going to face this giant, his name is Goliath. And what happens? He's all alone. David is about 5 feet tall, and Goliath was 7 feet tall, according to the Bible, and it took 2 men to carry his shield. And David only had these 5 little pebbles, shiny pebbles from the brook, between him and his destiny. But he was convinced that if he could win, the Jewish people would have a place. And if he'd lost, then the Philistines would have taken over the whole country. So we should understand that even when we're in a moment of distress, we lost somebody very, very important and loving, that we are not alone and we can resolve that and go forward. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. The Lord redeemeth the souls of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be forsaken. Amen. Now, if you have this little pamphlet, okay, there's a 23rd Psalm on the inside. Okay, this is a great picture, by the way. Okay, only beautiful women get into this drawing. Okay, here's the 23rd Psalm. It's called the Psalm of David, but it's the most popular and well-known. Let's recite together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou hast prepared a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Marlene, I'd like to call on you now, please. Take it easy, Marlene. We'll wait. Go over there, Marlene. You're on TV.
Okay. This is tough. I want everyone to know this. This is very tough, especially now with the COVID. On behalf of my brothers, my family, Carrie and Bruce, I want to thank you for sharing this moment in time with us. Whether here or remotely, amazing on YouTube, right? I also want to thank Lloyd Mandel and his staff for making this time a bit more bearable for me and my family. Finally, I want to thank, and I am so grateful, and we are all so grateful to have Rabbi Weisberg here, performing my mother's service. I do not see him often. Unfortunately, I see him at funerals lately. But I want him to know, for a long, long time, I've thought of him, always, and he is one of my superheroes. I'm not done. Insert page 2 here. So my mother, a very strong influence in my life. In fact, I find myself talking about her with my friends all the time. They could be saying things like, we are going here, or we bought this, or we did that, and I always want to blurt out, and most of the time I do. Molly does that, my mother does that. Very strong influence in my life. She's always on my mind. Even playing cards at the club in Florida, the phone was right at my side all the time, looking to see if she called for anything. Even I wasn't supposed to have a phone in there. I didn't care. It was for her. Our childhood was not easy. Molly's years were not easy too. I won't get into details, but she worked very hard, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. Always in sales or hosting, but we always had food on the table. We did not grow up with a lot of money. We grew up with a lot of love. So let me tell you about my mother. Let me tell you about the daughter, the sister, the aunt, the bubby, and friend. She wasn't a reader, excepting for if it were cookbooks. She loved to read her cookbooks. She wasn't a volunteer. She didn't have a hobby. She didn't knit. She liked to shop. But I can tell you, anyone who ever met her will agree that she was one of a kind. She was a giver. One of anything was not enough. She was a shopper. In recent years, she found QVC, she found HSN, and I can attest, she found Jewelry TV. It was hard for her to understand how to use a computer. It was hard for her to understand how to use her phone. She didn't understand how to use her features. We tried. Lately, she was realizing that Amazon was available, but we avoided that dilemma. Did you get the gist that she loved to shop? Yes, she was a shopper. She loved house sales. She loved garage sales. She loved having a garage sale, selling what she bought at the sale for a fraction of what she paid, but she was selling. She wasn't great with money. She was an excellent cook. Her brisket was outstanding. Her mandelbread, the best. I remember going home with tins of mandelbread from my house to Buffalo Grove or to my house in Highland Park, and by the time I got home, it was almost all gone. That's why I look the way I look. Fashion. 100%, even today. Always 100%. She dressed beautifully, impeccable taste. Her clothes, her shoes, her handbags, they were like a drug. She needed them. It delighted her. She loved her things. It gave her peace. It made her happy to be surrounded by her things. I do believe that growing up poor, born at the beginning of the Depression, she always felt that she didn't have enough. One of anything, as I mentioned before, was not enough. My mother was beautiful, just beautiful. A true head turner. She walked into a room and the heads would turn. Growing up, I was not Marlene, but that's Molly's daughter. I wear that badge proudly and will forever. You know, that's how I see her now. My beautiful mother, my beautiful mom. Your memory will be a blessing. My family, her love will never, ever leave you. She will always be here for all of us. I am so grateful to have her. She lived until 90 and a half. How many people can say that about their family? I have to say one more thing. My mother had a saying, to have, to hold, and to let go. Letting go is the tough part. I don't believe that will happen for me. Thank you.
Sorry, you dropped your.
God give me the quiet. My mother was the most beautiful woman on earth. She was the greatest mother. She was the greatest grandmother, Bubby, as affectionately people say. And she had a strong constitution, such a strong constitution. Always giving, as my sister said, always finding food for everyone to eat in abundance. So much so that everybody in the family, especially the grandchildren, called it Bubby Dominic's, which is the food stores that were out here years ago. She used to help me at my business. She used to come downtown with me and help me at the apparel center and also at my trade shows that I did. She never said no. She just gave. She gave her time. She gave her love. And on occasion she wouldn't come down. Many times that she said that she had things to do, and she says, please stop by before you head downtown. I want to give you something to eat for lunch. And I would agree. Sometimes they come by there before I went down to work. And one time she gave me a box of food for lunch, and she would always check on me during lunchtime to see how the food was. And one time she made this, and she was the most marvelous cook. One time she made these great salmon patties, and they were just terrific. I love those. She knew I loved those. So I went downtown and I opened lunch. I was hungry and I started eating, and the phone call came in. And I just started having half of them, and she says, how's the salmon patties? I said, they're terrific, as always, Mom. You know you're the greatest cook. I said, but I didn't know you started using poppy seeds now in the mix, because I've never seen that inside the salmon patties. She says, hold on a second. She puts me on hold. And she comes back to the phone. She goes, Carrie? I said, yes. She goes, stop eating those right now. I said, why? They're delicious. She goes, the matzo meal has bugs in it. I said, oh my gosh. So we had a good laugh, and that was a story we told many times to each other and laughed about. Needless to say, I didn't finish them. But they were still good nonetheless. She said, don't worry, bugs are a delicacy in China. You'll be fine. I honestly can't believe I'm never going to talk to her again. I'm never going to hear her voice, her beautiful voice again. I'm never going to be able to hug her again. I'm never going to see her beautiful face again, as she is so beautiful and was her whole life. I'm never going to be able to tell her how much I love her ever again, and how much she loved her grandchildren. She always used to tell me and her whole family ever again. Mom, you didn't really just pass away. You passed yourself within me. Taking a piece of my heart and soul in the process. I'll always have you in my heart, always, and with me forever. You were the best of moms that anyone could be lucky enough to have. You were not only my mom, but you were my best friend. You were my best friend always, all rolled into one. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for all the 90 years of amazing life that you shared with everyone you touched. I love you, I'll always love you and miss you deeply. I'll always remember your sayings. You need to stop and smell the roses, Carrie. You need to stop and smell the roses. Slow down. She used to always say things like that. If something was an inanimate object and I was worried about it, she goes, don't worry about it. It doesn't ask for food. It'll be okay. She was amazing. In dedication to our mom, our Bubby, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the music community, and I wrote a song. And I would like to have the honor to show you what I wrote in a short estimated short version of a song called Heaven in dedication to Mom. So, with the rabbi's permission.
Hold it up to the mic. Hold it up to the mic. Pause.
We've been best friends forever, so it appears. Now I look around and you are gone from here. For I called your name, and things will never be the same again, my friend. The sun will rise tomorrow. It warms the air. I will feel the wind, but you will not be there. Not be there. Somehow I'll find a way to make it through. But there's a part of me that went away with you, with you. Oh, heaven must have called your name. Now things will never be the same. Heaven must have called your name, and things could never be the same again, my friend. Sometimes we laugh, and sometimes we cry. How do we ever know when it's the last time we'll say goodbye? Somehow I'll find a
So that was me singing.
Oh my God.
God bless Mom. God bless our family. God bless Rabbi Weisberg. God bless my mom in heaven. Thank you very much.
I want to comment on both of your presentations. Really beautiful and heartfelt. There's a very great Talmudic discussion about two things that we don't know much about. One is the first chapter in the book of Ezekiel that talks about there's a chariot in heaven, okay? You've heard the Negro spiritual about there's a chariot coming, okay? And the second, that's called the Ma'aseh HaMerkavah, the work of the chariot. And that gave rise to the whole idea of mysticism and Kabbalah. And the second discussion is called the Ma'aseh Bereshit, the work of creation. And if you're reading the press at any given time, you know that we're still trying to figure out how the world came into being. The rabbis were very interested in it, not only because of the whole idea of God, creator of all things, but that man ultimately is a creation that reflects God. And so the rabbis say, you mean all these varieties of human beings that are on earth that ever were, they're all reflections of God? And the rabbis say, that's right, okay. What they're really saying is that there are people who talk about other people, and if you're watching the run-up to elections and selling all kinds of things, they categorize people so that we know who the ordinary people are and who these elitists are, okay? Both of those ideas are rejected by the rabbinic discussants. And that's because everybody is in the image of God, and therefore you and I are unique, okay, with the opportunity to reflect the highest that we know into others and help them bring that out and be a blessing and share a blessing. And the reason I want to say that is because when we think about your mom and your bubby, she's not the greatest bubby because I had the greatest bubby. Let's get it straight, okay? My bubby was Bubba Masha and yours is Bubby Malka, okay? Sort of close, and we'll give her a chance to do better, okay? She'll come back and do better. But she was unique in your life and in the lives that she touched. And I think that we can learn a lot from her because of her spirit and her drive. First of all, we know that she was beautiful. I've got the picture, by the way. If this is she's a wowie, okay? She's a wowie, okay? Second, she improved on that. Yes, we can improve on that. She improved on that because she was always at her best. She woke up, she put on makeup, she got dressed, she was ready to go. And away she went, by the way. She was ready to go. And her help, her métier, if you will, was that there are people who need her, okay? And she made sure that she could respond to those needs. Now, the two of you, I mean, Carrie, you got into trouble with this matzah ball, with these matzah mail problems, But everyone that I've spoken to has talked about meatballs, okay, mandelbrot, not mandelbrot, mandelbrot, okay, and brisket, okay, some with grape marmalade and some without. If you know about brisket, it's a very major part of the Jewish religion, forgetting anything else, okay. Now, I'm not sure that she was a gourmet cook, that she subscribed to all these cooking magazines and all the chefs that appear on TV, etc. But what she prepared was tasteful and plenty and blessed by everybody knowing that she was giving you the best, not the most ornate. You know, it wasn't pheasant's tongues, you know, under glass and some kind of caviar. It was peasant food made precious, okay, because of a mother's touch and a mother's spirit. And the fact that she was always ready to work, okay, she was ready to help people. She opened her house, Bruce came back, Arlene would come once a month from Florida. You would take her to see the Beatles, okay, and she was appreciative of your presence. Your presence was very, very important, okay? And she made you believe, and life is based on our beliefs. She made you believe that she was the best because she tried hard at doing that and showing that to everybody who came into her house. Now, she had this habit, Carrie talked about it last night on the phone, that she was in love with the QVC, okay? That's the Queen's Victoria Cross for those of you who are history lovers. But for everybody else, it's for shopping fiends, okay? And she wasn't just shopping, she was preparing for your visit, that she could share whatever she had, whether it was on the shelf, whether it was on the table, whether it was in the fridge, regardless, that she had duplicates and triplicates of all these things because she loved them and she wanted you to know that what you were getting was something of her love, okay? Forgetting whether she knew how to use Amazon or, you know, you're talking about somebody who just signed up for Amazon because I'm afraid to go to the store, okay? So, and I got a whole month free of premium, okay? So let them run around for me, okay? Now, there's not enough toilet paper in the world, you know that. So the fact is that you are the recipients of this beauty, this energy, this embrace. It's an embrace. It's not just a physical embrace. It's not just hugging. It's that we can hug people with our whole heart. And because of that, something that you said I have to correct, and that is, you will remember. You will remember. If you study Torah, after the Shema, it says, Lama'an Tizkeru, in order that you might remember, Va'asitem otam, and do them. Okay. It's one thing to remember all these blessings. Great, great lady, and her world, unique, okay, doing, giving, caring, rushing home because Harry had to have dinner at 6 o'clock, and Carrie rushing Mama home from whatever was going on at the mart because she was helping him, and when people came in, she was at her best. She was not a zlob someplace, okay, with torn hose and etc. She was at her best, and she was giving her best, selling her best, and expecting people to appreciate those efforts. And that you got that message is a very, very treasured gift. Some people take things for granted and don't understand. But that she tried to save your life, fill your life, and make it happy with memories and reminiscences that are worthy of replication for others' lives. I'm going to tell you a Greek story. In mythology, there's a lady named Demeter, and she's married to a gentleman named Hades. And Hades is the king of the underworld, and Demeter is the goddess of all things growing. And they had a daughter named Persephone. And Hades fell in love with his daughter, and he kidnapped her. And he took her into the underworld, where the mother could not see her. And the mother, Demeter, was disconsolate, and she wandered the earth, really sad and gloomy. And one day, weary, she was taken into a home, a peasant's home. And the peasant saw that she was very sad, and no one could seemingly please her. And then she heard the sound of a little baby. And the mother in that home said, "Look, I got to cook for the family. Hold the baby." And then they saw this transformation of happiness, of fulfillment. Okay. She was blessed by you, as we say in East Cleveland, by yous guys. Okay. She was blessed by you. Were you hard to raise? Like everybody else, you had your challenges. We were all told at one time. But she raised you. She saw good in you. She brought good from you. She saw the loyalty and the affection and appreciation for her efforts. She saw that you were welcome in her home, in her heart, in her labors. You were welcome and you were uplifted, not only by her beauty that was physical, but by all these things that she was doing for so many people that just came within her ken. That just came, it could be at the bagel and it could be at a fancy leather goods shop. It didn't make any difference. She was on to help and uplift. And she did it with all her might. And she did it with style. She did it with great style. Is she an ordinary person? I hate that word. There's no one of us that's ordinary. We are unique, and we have a chance to show the greatness that's implanted within us and follow her example. You know, her name is Molly. It's Malka, and Malka is a queen, okay? It doesn't come with Razel usually. It comes with Esther Malka, okay? Queen Esther, okay? But when you have a queen in your home who reigns in the kitchen, reigns in the wherever she is, okay, who emanates this joy and this happiness and this love in her work, in her play, in these little things that she did, okay? All right, so she liked Judge Judy, okay? Okay, she liked QVC, okay? Listen, we all have our things that make us happy like that, okay? I mean, if you're watching the pandemic, none of these things are there. People are growing meshuggah, okay? But that we have these little beispiels, these little diversions, and that we can turn them into conversation, gifts, sharing, reminiscences, happy moments. That's the artistry of a wonderful human being. Malka Razel Bat Moshe. She's the daughter of the great Moses himself. And it's been my privilege to know a bunch of the Dicks, especially Izzy, okay? But it's your privilege to know your family and to feel that you've got the best. May you always feel that you've got the best. And may you understand that in your gifts to her, and I'm not talking about monetary gifts, in your presence in her life, okay, in coming from afar to be with her, in going out of your way to have her with you, in taking her on trips and to wherever, casino, wherever, okay, that you were adding to her joy and fulfillment. One last story. In high school, I played football in high school. Okay, I went to it. It was a public school in Cleveland, Glenville High School. It's now the second highest football high school in the state of Ohio. But when I went, it was all Jewish, and we never won a game until we played a girls' school. And the student manager of our team was a fellow by the name of Albert Feuerwerker, who later became the professor of Chinese literature at the University of Michigan. And he was very frum at that time. And before we went out to play, we would gather at this Hungarian shul, of Tzedek, to daven, okay, to daven. And this was one early September Shabbat. And Albert says, now listen, win or lose, we're coming back for midnight. And we're going to daven upstairs with the adults. And we got to be on our best behavior, no horsing around, no playing games. We're going to be in our best behavior. And when the chazan begins this prayer, you're going to look up at the ladies' gallery, and you're going to see a miracle. They don't know a damn thing, but they're going to all cry at the same time. And being 17, it was like tearing wings off of a butterfly. It was really delightful. There we are, sitting really nice and polite, and Albert says, get ready, get ready. So he says, get ready now. So we look up, and sure enough, like you turned on a spigot, everybody's crying. Later, I learned more about Hebrew. And this is the prayer. Shma kolenu Adonai Eloheinu, chus v'rachim aleinu, u'tkabel b'rachamim uvratzon et tfilatenu. Hear our prayer, O Lord our God. Be merciful and answer us in our supplication. And then it says, Al tashlichenu le'et zikna, uvizman kichlot kochenu al ta'azvenu. Cast me not aside in mine old age, and when my strength wanes, abandon me not. So now I'm 93. Now she was 90 and a half. Your presence was a blessing. She was not alone. You cared. Even when she spoiled you, you cared. Even when she got up early to make your eggs, she cared. Even when she did what you needed for her, she cared. And she saw that you cared too. Al tashlichenu le'et zikna. Cast me not aside in mine old age. There are a lot of people who are forgotten. Your mother was unforgettable, and she lived to bless generations. Is she as rich as me? Well, I have 7 great-grandchildren, but we should thank God for all our blessings. Okay, it's in that spirit that we should rise and pray for Male Nudell. El Male Rachamim Shochein B'Maromim Hamtzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina V'Malot Kadoshim Utahorim Kezohar Harakim Et Nishmat Malka Rezel Bas Reb Moshe Shehalcha Liolama Ana Bala Rachamim Yastireha B'Seter Knafav Liolamim V'Yisror B'Tzror HaChayim Et Nishmata Adonai Hu Nachlata V'tanuach b'shalom al mishkava, v'nomar amen. O God, full of compassion, thou who dwellest on high, grant perfect rest beneath the sheltering cover of thy wing, among the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament, to a beloved mother and grandmother and sister and aunt and relative and friend and co-worker and loving partner in so many joyous undertakings. Help us to remember Molly Nudell for blessing, together with all her loved ones, and may her soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal. Be thou her repose in peace, and may she be a gooder better for us. May she be one who prays for our health and happiness and welfare. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have this little pamphlet, if you open it, no, turn it to the back, and you'll see the Kaddish. Okay. The mourner's Kaddish, there are a group of prayers called Kaddish. When a rabbi teaches something from the Mishnah in the Talmud, there is the Kaddish de Rabbanan. And between the major portions of the davening, there's the Kaddish, Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish, the reader's Kaddish. And then after the Torah reading, there's the Kaddish Shalem, the whole Kaddish. And at the end of the service, there's the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. All of those are to reflect and reconsecrate ourselves, regardless of what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're called upon to do, that life is meant to be holy, and we are meant to act at our best. And that's why we're saying this in memory of this beautiful woman. Let's join together. Yit Kadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'yolma Divra Chirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayei Chon Uv'yomei Chon, Uv'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uv'izman Kariv, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavorach, Li'olam Olol Me'omaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Nekudisha, B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'imiran b'yoma v'imru amen. Yehei shloma rabba min shemaya, v'chayim olenu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, olenu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. And because we're here, we want to remember those who are lying in this cemetery and waiting for Molly to welcome them in the Yeshiva Shel Mala. Eil mole rachamim shochein v'amromim, hamtzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina, b'malot kadoshim utahorim, kazohar harakia masivim, et nishmat Malka Rezel bat Moshe, et nishmat Harry Nudell, et nishmat Jill, what's her last name? Feldman, et nishmat Ann Katz, et nishmat Mel Katz, et nishmat Larry Sandman, et kol hanashamot hanishkavot bos. Ana balarachamim yastirehem b'seitek nafav la'olamim. V'yitzror b'tzror hachayim et nishmotehem. Adonai hu nachlatam. V'yanuchu v'shalom al mishkavam. V'nomar amen. To Jill and Harry and Ann and Mel and Larry and all those who lie here, who are repositories of precious memories and beautiful life. May their memories always be for blessing. May we speak of them with joy and fond reminiscence. May we emulate what they taught us and what they showed, what was the best of life, and helped us to find fruition in our life because of their love and kindness and watchfulness. V'nomar, amen. Amen. And now, we're going to ask them to lower. Ladies and gentlemen, ordinarily I would tell you to go to shul on Friday. I don't think they'll let you in. Okay. When you go home, you're going to Kedvale, light the candle, and it'll go for 7 days. Let it burn down. Don't blow it out. Okay.
That's how many people are logged in. It's 30 right now.
And then we only brought roses over there.
Lloyd,
We'll put them on top of the grave.
you can be able to put some on the grave.
They don't allow you to do that, but there should be some cups here that you can put a little sand.
Okay.
But I don't see the cups.
I'll take my bare hands.
You're welcome to do that. So wait until the cover's on. Any more cups?
What do you do with the flowers now?
They'll be placed on top of the grave
And
after.
then I have other flowers.
Right. Do you want to use some of those and place them?
Yes. Can I have the flowers? Yes.
I asked everyone to give the cemetery workers space until they walk away from the grave. Oh, you are fine. A friend of mine. Can I have everybody other than the three children come over here? Please form two lines. Nope, not you. Three children remain back, please. Please form two lines going this way. I want you to face each other. We want two lines that your family can pass through.
Come over here.
That's good. No, you can go back. Did you want to say goodbye to everyone that was online? You can say it right now.
Up, down.
About 25 people.
I want to thank everybody who tuned in through YouTube.
Thank you.
Very appreciative. Wish you were all here wish we were all able to hold and hug each other. We love everybody and are so grateful for our friends and family and those who are,
Thank you for all your love and support.
and for those who are tuning in.